Hello Internet peoples, my name is Guy Royce, and today we're going to build a Discord bot using Node.js, Redis, and a little bit of Redis Bloom. So come on in, welcome to the Inner Circle, and let me show you how I did it. With me, Guy Royce. So today we're going to build a Discord bot for the Illuminati. Yes, you heard me right. We're going to build a Discord bot for the Illuminati. What we're going to do is we're going to set up a Discord server. On that server, there'll be a secret section just for the Illuminati to hang out in. And then there'll be a bot that watches for messages in the general areas, the non-secret areas of the server. And if you use a secret word enough times, and we'll count, then we will add you to a role in Discord to let you have access to the secret Illuminati group. So that's what we're going to build. We're going to use Redis to do this, and we're going to use Node.js to do this. And we're going to use some Redis Bloom. One of the things we want is we want duplicate messages to be filtered out. We don't want you to just spam the server with, the secret word and get in. You need to cleverly incorporate it into sentences a number of times. So that's what we're going to build today. So first things first, let's see my desktop. There we go. So I've got to build a Discord server. I don't have a Discord server, so, I have a Discord server, but we don't have a Discord server for the Illuminati. So let's go ahead and create a Discord server. You see here, we've got the Redis Discord server that I'm on right now, all these wonderful joins. You could be one of those wonderful joins if you went out to discord.gg/Redis and joined the Redis Discord. And then you could ask me questions about the Illuminati. In the meantime, let's go ahead and add a server. We're going to create my own. This is, I guess it's for a clever community, but we're going to say for me and my friends. And we're going to give this server a name. We're going to call it Discordia. And we need to give it a nice, neat picture. We're going to give it the apple of Discord, La Manzana de la Discordia. And there we go. We've got a little server up and running. See, we've got a very boring and generic server. It's got general and general. So I want to do two things. I want to create a category and I want to create a role. And we're going to create the role first so that the secret area stays secret. And so we're going to go to server settings, and we're going to go to roles, and we're going to go to plus, and we're going to give that role a name, and we'll call them the Illuminati. And we'll make them a nice golden dawn color here, and we'll save our changes. And now we have a role. Actually, let's check that role really quick. We want to make sure that it's not visible. So let's go into that role again. Look there, go to the Illuminati. So here I've made it so that it's not publicly visible, so it doesn't display them separately, and you can't tag anyone with that role. And of course, these members can view channels and stuff. So that's all set up properly. Next, I'm going to create a new category. So create category, and we'll call this the Illuminati. I know these names are very original, right? And this is going to be private. And so, no, the general populace of the server won't be able to see it. And we want to select the Illuminati to have access to the Illuminati, which kind of makes sense. And now we've got a secret little group here. So let's go ahead and add some channels here. We'll give a channel for world domination. And we'll do another channel for, let's say chemtrails. I hear the Illuminati doing chemtrails. That collapsed for some reason. And let's do one more for squirrels. Messed with the squirrels, Morty. You messed with the squirrels. We've only got so many of these out there. Okay, so we've got our nice little secret group there. And just to show that this is working, if I go to my roles on the server, I can see everything because I'm the admin. But if I go to server settings and go to my roles and right-click as everyone and say view server as role, I can see that I can't see the Illuminati channel. And if I view server as this role, I do. So our role is configured correctly. Fantastic. So now we've got a server with secret areas. So we've got our server. Now we need to create a bot. So to create a bot, we need to go to this URL right here. And I'll have this URL in the description below, but it's at discord.com/developers/applications. And you'll need to log in with your Discord ID. I've logged in with mine already. and we need to create a new application. A bot is an application, so let's create an application. And we're going to call this the Discordia bot, since this is the Discordia server. You can see here it's highlighted. I've done this before. And I'm going to put this on Team Personal, not on Team Redis University staff, because I don't think Redis University staff wants this in their area. So let's go ahead and create the bot. And then it's going to ask for an image. It's ask us to choose a neat icon. And so we're going to select this wonderful Eye of Providence, always watching, just like the bot. And for a description here, we'll say the Eye of Providence is always watching. Novus Ordo Saeculorum, right? That's Latin for New Order of the Ages, most literally. So we can save those changes. We've got our application created. We don't actually have a bot yet. It's saving here. It's going a little sluggish. There, it's done there. So now to make it a bot, we need to go to the bot tab. So our app is Discordia bot. We'll go to bot, and we can say add bot, and this makes it a bot. So add bot. It warns us that we can't undo this. So are you sure? And I'm not going to be Nirvana. I'm going to go ahead and do it. I'm not going to say never mind here. And so here's our bot. And that's pretty much it. The bot is created. We've got one useful bit of data here, and that's the token, which I can copy. This will be used to log in as the bot from our JavaScript code later. If I can click to reveal this here, you'll get to see it later anyhow. And as you can see, you can clearly regenerate this token, and boom, you get a different one. And so I feel comfortable showing this token in a video because I will undo this token later. So we've got our bot set up, and now we need to add our bot to our server. To do that, we go to the OAuth 2 menu option here, and we're going to generate a URL that we're going to put into the browser. So to generate that URL, we say it's a bot, not a droid, a bot. And then we select the permissions that the bot needs. We want to be able to send messages and manage messages, embed links, and attach files. We probably aren't going to do all those things. I think we're probably just going to send messages and manage messages. But the other thing we need to do is we need to manage roles. And you can see you can give your bot a lot of permission here, right? You can give it voice permissions. You can make it an administrator if you're really, really daring. We're going to try and give it as little as it needs or that we anticipate it needing in the future. So that creates a URL. So these checkboxes turn into a permission number here and everything. But we can just copy this URL, open up a new tab, paste it, and it will take us to Discord and say, do we want to add this bot to a server? Select the server we want. These are servers that I am an admin or manager on. And we want Discordia, definitely not the Redis server. And here it's saying these are all the things I just checked, all the permissions that I just checked. So hit authorize, and we're authorizing that bot for the server. Yes, I am a human. Beep, boop, beep, boop. And you just heard a happy beep from my other computer. That means that someone has joined, or there's a message on the server. So what could that message be? Well, let's take a look. Right here we have a wild Discordia bot appeared. So we've got a new user. And right here, if we look, we see Discordia bot. They are offline, which makes sense. There is no code to this bot yet. It's just an account. It's a member of the server, but there's nothing. It's a puppet without strings, and so we need to give it some strings. So that's our next task. Let's give our puppet some strings. So we need to write some code. So let's take a look at writing some code. Get over here to our machine here. It looks like I thought I had Redis running here. Let me kick Redis off here really quick. All right, so here we are in code land. We're going to build our strings for our puppet, right? And I've got here a little bare bones node thing set up. I've got a package JSON set up that has all the things that I like, the settings I like. I've got a little startup script that just complains, and then, author and license. I've got a little start Redis shell script, which will start Redis with Redis Bloom using the Redis mod image from Docker. And I have over here in my other terminal here, I have Redis up and running with Redis Bloom. I've got a Node version manager RC file so that I'm using the right version of Node. I've got a gitignore file that will ignore the data folder for any Redis data we want to save and ignores Node modules. And so we got an empty project. Let's make it do something. So first things first, we need to install the Node packages we want to use. And I'm going to use npm install io-redis as our Redis client. This is my favorite Redis client when I'm doing JavaScript. I'm going to use .env. This is a environment properties manager thing. We can create a .env file in our project and add it to gitignore, where we can put all our secrets in there. So this is where our bot token will go, and this is where our Redis URL will go. And then we also need discord.js. This is a library that allows us to talk to Discord's APIs easily. I hit enter. And if we look in our package.json, we can see that those are added. Excellent. Save everything. And then let's go ahead and get our environment file set up. So touch.env. And we'll open up env. And before we start editing that, .env. Right. So now it'll be gitignored. And we need two things in here. And I'm going to look at my cheaty code here a little bit just to remember some of the keywords and copy and paste them so I don't get typos. We need our Discord token and our Redis URL. The Redis URL I know off the top of my head because I've typed it a bajillion times. Redis:// localhost port 6379/database0. If you were doing this for something a little more real, obviously you'd want to secure your Redis, maybe use a Redis cloud instance, and that would point to that or something. I'm just running Redis locally. And we need our Discord token, and we can get that from our bot. Let's scroll up, and there's that token we revealed earlier. I'm going to copy it and then paste it into here. So these are our two configuration settings. These are two environment settings. Cool. Let's go ahead and give the bot some life. Let's give the bot a file. We've got bot.js here. This will be the main JavaScript source file that the bot will be running from. We need to import some things that I know we're going to need to use. We'll import Redis from io-redis, and we'll import Discord from discord.js. And then let's go ahead and pull in those environment variables, not case, const, case. I haven't used a case statement in forever. And we'll look for the Redis URL, and that will be equal to process.environment.redis URL. And we'll create a constant for the Discord token. And that will be equal to process.environment.discord token. We also, I know that the functionality of this is going to include looking for a secret word. So we should probably make that a constant. We're going to count how many times they've used that secret word. And so we need some sort of count value that also will be a constant, what number they'll be above. And then we need the role that we used. And we called the role the Illuminati. I'm pretty sure we used the word the. Let me double check that real quick just to make sure our roles, if I copy and paste this wrong, this won't work. So if I look at the roles, it's the Illuminati. So that is correct. So let's create constants for secret word. And we're going to use the word Fnord, which doesn't mean anything, but is slightly unsettling. And many people won't even see it. And for the secret count, we'll set that to 23. And for the secret role, we'll call that the Illuminati. Excellent. So far all I've done is import and create some constants. Let's go ahead and set up Redis. Let Redis equal new Redis URL. And then let Discord, we'll call it client, equal new Discord.client. And that does not take the token like you might initially think. What you do after you've created the client is you log in. Just a single dot there. And then you pass in the Discord token there. So this then logs that client in. So this client now is logged in. If I were to run this code, the bot would log in, and then I would probably immediately log out. I haven't tried doing this. But what we want to do is actually respond to some events. So this logs the bot into our Discord server. And then if we tell it to, it'll start listening for events. So we can say client.on, and ready is, of course, the ready event. Once the bot's logged in and ready to go, the ready event gets fired. And so we can handle the ready event. And then in the ready event, we can say client.on, and then we can look for lots of different events that happen on the server. You can say a message is posted, which is what I've just done here. You could say a new user has joined the server. And so maybe you could do a thing where you send messages to new users as they join servers. We're just going to look at all the messages that get posted to the channels that the bot can see. So let's go ahead and do that. This is going to pass in a message object, which is from the Discord.js library. And we can do a really simple one here. If we just to see this work, we can see console.log message. And so this is the simplest, almost the simplest of all bots. Let's see if it works. So we'll do npm start. Npm start will not work yet because I'm not actually running. I run an error here. So we want to do node bot.js. Now, if we do that, it'll run, but we're going to get a different error. It's going to give us an invalid token error. And this is because we haven't actually loaded our .env stuff. And the way we do that is fairly straightforward. We have to do add a requirement in here. And that require is going to be for .env. So this is like doing a require at the top of your code in Node /config. If you require .env/config in your code, then as soon as that's done, that requiring loads this module, and that module runs code that looks for the .env file. So it all happens sort of automatically. By putting it in here, I don't have to do anything special in my code. It just sort of makes it magically work. And so the environment file just gets loaded up without me having to write any explicit code for it. So this should work a little bit better. Okay, so it didn't crash. That's always a good sign. Let's go ahead and head over to our server here. And let's send a test message. This is a test. This is only a test. And over here, we should see a message. And we do. This is all the properties in a message. We scroll up, we should see that this is a test. This is only a test as the content somewhere. And you probably have seen it already, and I've totally missed it. There it is. And so you can see there's a whole bunch of information here. Here's the content. Here's the author. That's me. That's my ID. And all kinds of stuff here, right? Cool stuff. So the bot is working. And if we go back to Discord again and look, you'll see that the Discord bot is now online, whereas before it wasn't. So cool. But that's not a very satisfying bot, is it? So let's make this bot do a little bit more. We want to, well, we want to start looking for words, and we want to look to see if you are already confirmed in the Illuminati or not, or are you in that secret group yet or not. And so we need to start looking for those variables. So, and we're going to store all that stuff in Redis. But first thing we're going to do is we're going to say if message.author.bot. So if the author of this message is a bot, return. We don't want to count the bots using the secret word. Bots can't join the Illuminati. Only people can. And maybe, you know, maybe grays or something like that. Or reptilians, I don't know. So message.author.bot, return. We can say also if message.type is a DM, return. If it's a direct message. So we don't want to deal with direct messages either. And this is because we want to control whether you're in a role in a server. And so if you use the secret word on a server, then you'll get added enough times, you'll get added to a role on that server. And so direct messaging the bot wouldn't make any sense. It wouldn't even know which server you would be, trying to get into the secret group for. So we're just going to reject all direct messages and only look at things that are in the channel. I know we want to store a lot of things in Redis, so I'm going to create a key space for all my keys, and that's going to be Discordia, and then we're going to go for the guild. Guilds in Discord servers are, well, they're the servers. They just call them guilds. So in the API, where we see guild, it just means server. And so Discordia namespace for a particular guild, we can get the guild name out of the message. So we'll say message.guild.id. So this gives us the guild ID of the message. So now if this bot is running on multiple servers, this key space is going to allow those servers to keep track of everything separately. We want to have it for each user as well. We don't want my usage of the word Fnord to count towards your usage of the word Fnord. So we're going to say message.author.id. So the author is the user. And that gives us a nice, handy little key space. Things that we need to store in Redis, we need to store account. So we need a key for that. We use the key space, :count. This is how many times you've used the secret word. We're going to store that as a string that has an integer value. We need the confirmed key. We need to see whether you are confirmed to be a member of the Illuminati or not. When your count exceeds it, we'll set this as a bit to high. Otherwise, we'll set it as a bit to, it'll start out as a bit to low. And so this allows us to shortcut this process. We don't need to count your words or any of those things if you're already in. So we can stop counting. So I'm going to give that a key space and confirmed. And we also have, we're going to use a Bloom filter to make sure that you don't use the same sentence twice. We're going to keep track of all the things that you say in a Bloom filter, which would be a nice, tight, compact way to do that. And we'll just call this filter. So those are the keys we're going to use. We won't use them all right off the bat. We'll build this up incrementally, but I know where this is going, so I'm just kind of doing it in advance. So far, so good. So what we should do first is check confirmed. So we can do that by saying let confirmed equals await redis.getBit. So what getBit does is it takes a string and treats it as if it was just a giant bit field. And we've got some videos on bit fields on the channel already. Go watch those for detail on how bit fields and all that kind of stuff works. We're just going to store a single bit. So this is going to be a really simple key here. We're going to give it the key name for a confirmed key. And then we're going to give it the bit position that we want to check. And we want bit position 0. And it's the only one we're ever going to look at. So this looks at bit 0 in that string and says, is it a 1 or a 0? If it's a 1, it returns a 1. If it's a 0, it returns a 0. If it's null, it returns 0. We haven't defined this yet, haven't created it, so this is going to be 0. The other thing is that I just used this magic word await. And that means this is now an asynchronous function. So that is taken care of there. And then we can look and say if confirmed, then we don't, if confirmed, not confirmed key. If they're confirmed, we can just return. We don't need to do anything else. We're done. If they aren't confirmed, then we probably need to, we need to start counting their words. So let's say let's count, and we're going to look at their message. We're going to look at the content of that message. And in the content of that message, we need to say, how many times is the secret word in there? How many times do they say Fnord in this message? And to do that, we're going to split this using the split function. This converts that string into an array of individual words delimited by the space or spaces. And then we want to lowercase everything, so let's map that array of words. Word dot to lowercase. And now we have an array of lowercase words. And then let's filter out anything that isn't the word we're looking for. So word, triple equals secret word. So if the word is the secret word, then leave that in the array. Otherwise, remove it from the array. And then we can just take the length, and we have the count of how many times you've used that word in that sentence. If the count is 0, if it's falsy, return. If you didn't say the word, we don't need to do anything else. Otherwise, we need to actually update your count in Redis. So we're gonna no, not let yet. We'll say await. We're gonna use increby. Redis.increby or increment by. I like to call it increby. I think that's kind of funny. And we're gonna give it the count key. This is where we store the count value, and then we're going to increment it by how many ever words we just counted. So yeah, presumably, we've counted more than one here, so increment the value here by that number. And if it's not there, it'll treat it as 0 and just set it. And the other thing it'll do is it will return the newly incremented value. So we want to grab that and then check to see if it's above the secret count. So let's go say let total count equals, and now that we care about the response, we need to await that response. So we've got our total count. And then here, with the total count, if the total count is greater than or equal to the secret count, then we need to add you to that role. So we're going to say, we need to get that role before we can add you to it. So say let role equal message dot guild, and then the guild, that's our server, has roles, and the roles are cached by the API, and this is by the Discord.js library, and this is to minimize API traffic against Discord itself because they have rate limiting. And so we're going to look in their cache, which will be current, and this message just came in, so it should be current, and we're going to do a find on the cache. And the find takes a function. We're going to give it, and is handed each role. We're going to say the role that we're walking over, if that name is equal to secret role, then, well, return it. And if we don't find it, then this will be null. So just in case it's null, we'll check to see if it exists. And then we'll say message.member. So the member is like the author. The author is just the unique user. The member is the user on the server. And so authors don't have roles, but members do. So we have to use the member. So we go to member.roles, add, and then the role we just created. And that will add them to role. These people are now part of the Illuminati. Congratulations. We want to go ahead and set Redis's, the bit in Redis to say that we have actually Illuminati confirmed them. So we'll call setBit confirmed key, and then bit 0, we can set to a value of 1. And then just for fun, we're going to go ahead and send them a message as well, direct message. And I'm going to copy this here from my cheaty code, where we say, send them a message to author.send. This will send them a direct message because the author is the user, but the member is the user on the server. So author.send sends them a direct message saying, send them a little Illuminati confirmed message. And that should work. Let's go ahead and see if it does. So we're able to successfully get to the server. See the Discord bot is on there. I'm going to send a message and say, this is a test. And then I'm going to say, let's take a look at Redis CLI and see if Redis has been modified at all. Shouldn't have been, because we haven't given it anything to find. So if I do key star, it's still empty. Now if I go back to the server and say, this is a Fnord test, hit enter, and we should be able to go in here and see, yes, so we've got some keys. We've got a count. And if we get that count, say get, you can see it's 1. So cool, it's working. Let's send a bunch more messages. Fnord. And we'll do this a bunch more. That's 8 more times. And so if we go back here, you see it's out now 9. If we do that 8 more times, 16 more times, that should get us up to 23. It gets us up to 25. And did we get a direct message? We didn't, did we? Womp womp. It did confirm us. You see that's the 1 bit set high, so the highest bit in the first, well, 1, 2, 4, 8. So this bit's high. If we say get bit, it returns a 1. There you go. So yeah, it didn't work for some reason. Did it blow up? It did blow up. Missing permissions. Okay, so this is a great teachable moment. So one of the things that will get you, and this has gotten me several times, when you're setting up a Discord bot, is that the Discord bot can only manage roles that are below it. So if I go to my server settings and I go to roles, you can see that the Illuminati is at the top, as it should be. And the Discordia bot is right below it. And this means the Discordia bot can't manage the Illuminati role. But if I drag this up above it, now it can. So it can only manage things that are below it. So that should fix our error. And so let me go ahead and start the server back up. And I'm going to go ahead and flush this DB just so we can start from scratch. And then I'm going to go back here and say Fnord. No, not that. Do that a couple times. There we go. There's our message. Illuminati confirmed. Excellent. So now it's working. So that's a gotcha. That's a thing to watch out for. And really, I probably should make the code a little more robust to handle that situation. But, we're learning here. So, cool. So that's working so far. But right now, I was able to sort of spam things into there, right? When I run the bot, I could just, I typed the same message 3 times, and then it allowed me in. And we don't want it to do that. We want it to ignore these duplicate messages. So how do we do that? We do that with a Bloom filter. So let's get to our JavaScript code here. Not our Java code, our JavaScript code. We got another guy on staff that does the Java code. You can check out Brian's videos. They're really great. But I'm doing the JavaScript stuff. So we need to set up our Bloom filter so that it doesn't allow you to send duplicate messages. And I've got a separate video on Bloom filters. We've done a few videos on Bloom filters. I've got several talks on the internet as well that I've done. I suggest you go watch those on the Redis University channel and just wherever you can find them. And I'll have some links to the Bloom filter videos below. But the main thing with the Bloom filter that we need to understand is that you can think of them as a set that you can add strings to or data to. And then you can ask that set, is this in here or not? And it will say yes, probably, or it'll say no. And if it says no, then you know that it definitely isn't in there. But if they say probably, it might be in there, but you can't be sure. And this is what's called a probabilistic data structure. These Bloom filters are probabilistic data structures. And so they sometimes give you false positives saying, yes, I've seen that string before, when they haven't. But they're really great at compacting the data down. And so we want to store all the things that you've said. And that's a lot of data over time. But a Bloom filter is fast and small. And so it's a very efficient and compact way to store this data. So we're going to use a Bloom filter. So let's go ahead and add some Bloom filter code. I have a little bit of cheaty code here. I think I might just copy over. And then I'll talk about here. And so right here, we've got our filter defined. So what we're going to do is we need to set up this filter, right? We need to call BF reserve with Redis. And reserve, well, it reserves, it creates, it instantiates the filter. You can create filters without doing this and just say bf.add and it'll work, but you'll get default values, which are almost never what you want. So here I'm going to call redis.exists and say, does this exist or not? And then it'll return 1 or 0 for whether it does or does not exist. And if it doesn't exist, I'm going to go ahead and create it in the filter key. This number here represents the probability of a false positive. So this would be 1%. So this thing will say false positives. It'll say probably, and it'll actually be no 1% of the time. And we give it a size of, we're thinking about 10,000 items will be sufficient. That's sort of a guess on how many messages you would post on a Discord server in your career on that server. 10,000 is as good a guess as any. You want to be conservative with these in the sense that you don't want to fill up your bloom filter. A full bloom filter will give you false positives more often. And so erroring on the side of bigger rather than smaller is a better way to go. But this will define our bloom filter for us. And then we need to see if our message is a new message or not. And I'm going to go ahead and bring my cheaty code over for that as well. Here we've got let new message equals await a call to redis.call bf add. So bf add is going to add something to the set that is the bloom filter. And what we're going to add is the content of the message. So filter key message.content here. Now bf add has this nice thing where it will return to you a value saying whether the bloom filter was modified or not, which is to say it was added or it was already there. So if this returns a 1, this means we modified the bloom filter by adding this content. This meaning we have not seen this before, meaning it's a new message. And if it's not a new message, if it has seen it before, it believes it's seen it before, it will return a 0. So this is going to be either a 1 or a 0. If it's a 1, then we have a new message we want to carry on. If it's a 0, it's falsy. And so we need to go ahead and return. There's nothing new to be seen here. This is not a new message. Don't count the words in it. And that's pretty much it to using the bloom filter. It's just another reason to escape out. So let's go ahead and run our code and see if it works. So it's running. That's always a good sign, right? We'll go to our bot. Go to our server. Actually, before we go to our server, let's go ahead and wipe out our data again. That way we have a nice empty database. That way we can, my account was already part of the Illuminati, so we need to make sure it's not a part of the Illuminati. So we've wiped that out. And now if I type Fnord, I should get an increment of 1. So if I go and look at the key star here, don't use key star. I know I always say that. It's a running gag at this point. And we do a get of the count. We see that the count is 1. And if we use the bloom filter and say bf.exists, and then we type in that key, and then the word Fnord, it will say 1. Yes, the word Fnord was put in there. But the sentence Fnord was not. So this is the bloom filter doing its thing. So it was added to the bloom filter. Our count was incremented. Let's see it work over here again. Let's type in Fnord again. And let's type it in one more time. And then one more time just for fun. So if this works, our count should remain unchanged. And it does. And that's because when we use the bloom filter, it recognizes that word already. So let's go ahead and make sure that we can still be added to the Illuminati with that. And then just to make it unique. And there we go. There's the happy chirp beep thing that says Illuminati confirmed. So I am now in the Illuminati once again. Hooray! So that's pretty much how you can build a really simple Discord bot using Node.js. using Redis as a data store and using Bloom filters as a interesting way to keep people from spamming messages. So thanks a lot for watching. If you want more information, or you want to get into bigger details, or you want to play with this code, there'll be links to all that kind of stuff below. Of course, click like, subscribe, and all those obligatory things that I say at the end of the messages of videos, you know, that sort of end credits thing that we do, you know, ring the bell and all those sorts of things. Smash that like button. And please do subscribe to find more illuminated content such as this. And until the next video, Fnord.